Okay guys, this is part 2 to loading the ARRIS. A lot of people email me through YouTube and said could I give them a close-up of loading it. They wanted to see pretty much how the film goes through the guides. So I'm going to do this really quick. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our film selector speed and we're going to rotate it to the slowest speed. Open up our gate. Two items I want to point out in the ARRIS is this rocker system here and the gate. And if your rocker system is engaged, there's a small spring at the bottom. Just hit it and it'll release. You'll notice the play in it. The gate, you want to open it up, come to your jog wheel, and if you can see the registration pin there, you want to open it up. That way you're able to slide the film underneath it. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 100-foot spool, put it down. There's a nipple on top. Press it and it'll drop all the way down. Pull out about, I'd say maybe 3 feet of film will be fine. You're going to go past that, underneath that, and then you're going to form your top loop. At the same time, I'm going to start taking this film and putting it underneath that registration pin. Okay, my top loop looks a little small, so I'm going to lift it up and see what it looks like under the next hole. Perfect. So my loop looks good. You can see down there my registration pin. What I'm going to do is take my jog and I'm going to lower the registration pin into the camera. What that does for me is it actually holds my film nice and tight so I don't lose that top loop. Okay, close your gate. You're going to take your film, once again go through that rocker underneath the bottom. There's a white guideline at the bottom there. You can pretty much follow it and it'll give you a perfect loop. Drop that down onto that sprocket. Make sure the top one's on the sprocket too as well. Like that. Once you're satisfied with your film being on these two guide rollers, you can then push that up and lock it. After you do that, don't just walk away. Grab your film, give it a snug. Make sure those that film is located down on those perps. Now see, my lower loop is a little bit big, so I'm going to actually release this, slide it up a bit, and then re-engage it. And that looks like a little bit better of a loop there. And it's nice and tight. Then we're going to grab our take-up spool, load our film onto it, just like so. Drop it down, press our nipple, make sure they're seated, and then I'm going to go ahead and start running off a few film with the gate off, with the door off on this. You can actually just push this switch down right here, and it'll start to run. So push that down, and the loops look like they're doing good. The bottom wasn't shrinking, the top one isn't shrinking either. When I'm satisfied, I'll increase the speed and let it run a little bit more. Increase the speed and let it run a little bit more. And that's simply enough. Now I want to point out real quick, if your ARRIS is one of the later models, you'll have this buckle switch. ARRI engineers designed that if you lose your loop, that switch will go up and it'll actually cut the film off. Now you're not supposed to touch it by hand, okay? It's a very, very sensitive light pressure switch, but I'm going to actually touch it just to show you how it'll stop the camera. As I'm running it, there you go. By me activating it, pushing it up, it actually stopped the mechanism. If your area is a later one with the door, you could press that silver switch right there and it'll get it going again. So we're actually finished loading that. Push that, activate that, and your camera's running. That's how you load the ARRIS. Thanks.